Donovan Mitchell and Devin Booker have been balling in the NBA bubble. Donovan Mitchell has taken his game to another level in the playoffs as he has his Utah Jazz over the Denver Nuggets 2-1 in the first round. And Devin Booker was balling in the regular season as he averaged 30 points, made first team all bubble team, and really showed himself to be a superstar as he took his team to 8-0, but still couldn't make the playoffs. That still sucks that didn't happen. But anyways, both of them have been getting compared since both of those things has happened. After the regular season and the bubble happened, it was a consistent almost that Devin Booker was a better player than Donovan Mitchell, but Donovan Mitchell has been going crazy in the playoffs, so I wanted to make this video comparing the two players and seeing who's better in the end. Like, subscribe to the video if you haven't already, and let's get right into it. I feel like team success is really important at times, but sometimes it can be misleading and can really put these players in bad positions and look like they're just empty stats type of guys, but some of them are actually not, one being a Devin Booker. Obviously, I'm going to give this category to Donovan Mitchell, as Donovan Mitchell has had way more team success, but Devin Booker came in and was supposed to be the leading guy, the best player on the team, and they have drafted terribly around him. And also, I've had a lot of head coaches fired and other things like that, busts like Josh Jackson, Dragon Bender. Marquise Chris has kind of turned his career around a little bit in Golden State, but he's been a very big disappointment. So all of that going around him, and he's had 4 21 seasons and 1 31 seasons. So it's kind of turning around with Monty Williams, James Jones in the front office, but it's really been disappointing on the winning aspect for Devin Booker early in his career. But I can't say it's to the fault of his own. But Donovan Mitchell has had a really good thing going with the Jazz, as he's had 2 41 seasons with them and 1 51 season. So he's been doing really well. He was nurtured in. He has Rudy Gobert, Bojan Bogdanovic, Mike Conley. He's had a lot of veteran presence around him. So it's really hard to measure that. But I'm going to give it to Donovan Mitchell just because he's been to the playoffs and has led his team to the playoffs and has been the best player every single year. So, I have to give it to him, but it's really to no fault of Devin Booker that he hasn't been winning a lot early in his career. Is the best part of both of these players' games. So I'm not going to disrespect either of them because they're both very good scorers, but I'm going to just put it simply like this. Devin Booker got more efficient. He still had the same exact averages as he's averaged 26.6 points from the last 2 years, but he got more efficient with less shots. And Donovan Mitchell, with the same less shots, he got less efficient, as he went from 23.8 points to 24 points, but neither of them have gotten way better at scoring average wise as they did last year. But Devin Booker has just got a lot more efficient and has just been doing it with less shots, so that's just showing that he's becoming a more productive scorer and getting his baskets easier than Donovan Mitchell is. So that's why I have Devin Booker as the better scorer. Playmaking has been a skill both Mitchell and Booker have had to improve in their game to really add that skill in their game to make them a better player overall. All the two guards have had to learn how to pass the ball better and be better facilitators, such as MJ, Kobe, AI, and others, to make their jobs easier and to make players around them look better. And because of that, they probably won more, and when they did learn how to facilitate, they did win more. So Donovan Mitchell and Devin Booker are starting to learn the same exact thing. I honestly feel like Devin Booker is the better and more talented facilitator, as I see Donovan Mitchell getting more black holes and not want to pass more often than I do Devin Booker, even though Donovan Mitchell has better teammates. But still, I see Devin Booker really becoming a willing passer, and he's having a lot of 20 and 30, 10 games. I see a lot more of that from Devin Booker than I see from Donovan Mitchell. Maybe that's because of usage, but I really think Devin Booker is just a more talented passer than Donovan Mitchell, and I feel like Donovan Mitchell sometimes forces passes to make him look like a less not willing passer than Devin Booker. Devin Booker really does it in the flow of the offense now, and that's what's making both of them better players. They honestly both have grown a lot passing the ball, but I really feel at this moment Devin Booker is a better passer than Donovan Mitchell, as he's been averaging 6.5 assists and Donovan Mitchell has been averaging 4.3 assists. I know stats are not everything, but that's just showing how much better Devin Booker has got at passing and how Donovan Mitchell is still a little bit behind him in that category. Defense is a really important part of the game, and I feel like both of them are not very great defenders, but let's get into Donovan Mitchell first. Donovan Mitchell, coming out of college, was looked at as a defensive player because he had not tapped into his offensive ability in college at that time and really tapped into it when he got to the NBA. So he was really looked at as a lockdown kind of defensive player, energy type of guy coming out of college. And he has gotten, and he's looked like he has regressed on defense since he's gotten in the league. I don't think he's that great of a defender. And honestly, I think he looks a little bit better because he has Rudy Gobert behind him and he can clean up some of his mistakes at times. Devin Booker doesn't really have that, so he kind of looks like more of a liability. Although I do think Donovan Mitchell is a better defender, but I don't think it's by as much as people would think, because Donovan Mitchell gets a lot of his mistakes erased because Rudy Gobert is behind him, and Devin Booker does not have that, and he has never had that. So that's why I feel like it's a little bit of a closer gap than everybody else would think. But I'm going to have to give this to Donovan Mitchell, kind of an easy one, but Donovan Mitchell can be overrated on the defensive side of the ball at times, but I'm going to give it to him. And also, just like Devin Booker, he wasted a lot of his energy on offense as he's trying to get buckets for his squad, as he just had 3 50-point games in this series, so that's insane. So I'm going to have to give it to Donovan Mitchell in this one. Pretty good defender, not a great defender, but he's a pretty good defender. And Devin Booker at times looks like a liability, and I don't really ever see that from Donovan Mitchell. Alright guys, now for what all you guys have been waiting for, who do I think is the better player out of Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell? Obviously this was a hard decision, me going through all the categories I just went through and trying to think about what is the best decision to make, but still, counting out all the recency bias of Donovan Mitchell having all these 50-point games and how great he's been playing in the first round of this playoffs, I'm going to stick with the answer I thought I was going to have at the beginning of this, and I think Devin Booker is the better player. Devin Booker has a lot more impact on the game, in my opinion, than Donovan Mitchell, and scores with a lot more ease. And I say score with an emphasis because Donovan Mitchell is known as a scorer, and Devin Booker is known as a scorer. And Devin Booker is a very, very much better scorer than Donovan Mitchell is, in my opinion, and he just scores with more ease, and it's not as hard for Devin Booker to score than for Donovan Mitchell. He's also a better facilitator. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell is a good defender, but neither of them are known for defense. So for him to be better at scoring and facilitating, which is supposedly Donovan Mitchell's second best skill, and for him to be better at both of those things, I just think Devin Booker is the better basketball player than Donovan Mitchell. No hate to Donovan Mitchell. He's doing his thing right now against the Nuggets, and I respect it. And that's why I give him the team success, because he's been leading a playoff team for the past, since the beginning of his career, honestly. And I respect him for that, but I still think Devin Booker is the better player. That's my final answer. So yeah, man, that's what I'm going. Guys, that's all I got for you guys today. Had really fun making this cool comparison. I've been hearing a lot about Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell comparison. Who's better, since they're really close in age and things like that. So I want to get on here and make a video about it. I know I haven't made a lot of content lately. I think it's been 10 days since my last video. Like and subscribe on that video as well. Talking about the most surprising players in the bubble, Michael Porter Jr., Gary Trent, people like that. So go like on that video as well. Link in the description. And I need to get some more content out there more consistently, at least one video a week. It took me about 10 days to get this video out. I was going back to school and other things like that, and I was starting something that was very new, my podcast channel that I've been working really hard to get off the ground. I think our first episode is either going to drop today or tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. And like and subscribe on the video if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.